I promise you, you don't hate money. You're mad at yourself or you're mad at something that's happened in the past and it's caused you to feel stress and blame money for this. But that's not really what's true. What's true is at some point you missed an opportunity to take care of yourself because you didn't know. It's okay. You didn't know. But the beautiful thing is now you've already started that transition. So you're going to get there. You just have to stay consistent. In the meantime, get your sleep, drink your water, go for a walk, spend 10 minutes a day looking at your money, not avoiding it, looking for what's good in the world, spending time with people who are going to support you and encourage you in a positive way. And anytime you hear anybody in your life say, I hate money too, or money is stressful, you run. Don't go near those people because they're going to reinforce this crappy place where you are and they're going to keep you stuck.
Okay, I forgot to give you an update on how the family reunion went.
I can't wait.
I want to tell you about the game that went over the best.
Okay. How
Okay,
many did you end up playing?
oh, we played a bunch. We played a whole bunch because the idea was that I would just say a game. Actually, I didn't even tell anybody any details. I would just be like, okay, I need 5 people to form a team over here, or I need you to come play by yourself for this game. And so I wouldn't even tell people what they were in for until after they had said yes. So I think people were a little scared at first about what they were signing up for, but then eventually we're like, okay, these aren't so bad.
Okay, so what was the one that everybody liked the most?
Yeah, so the one that I think you should absolutely try if you're doing any get together and you have like even a dozen people would probably be ideal, is you split into 2 teams. You have to go to your local dollar store or dig in your own closet and find the biggest t-shirts that you can find. 2 shirts. You need one per team. And the idea is that you have to get your team to work with you, and it's whoever can go the fastest. You start by putting the t-shirt on one person, okay? Then you have to hold double hands
Mhm.
with a teammate. Now, meanwhile, the other people on your team are pulling the t-shirt off of you and putting it on the next person, okay? And then that person turns around and holds hands with the next person. And it's just whoever can get through. Every person has to wear the t-shirt like at least once. You could even, if you had fewer people, go back and forth. Like you could be all the way to the end of the line and then go back the other direction. But every person has to put on the t-shirt, and whoever gets it fastest wins.
How many butt cracks did you accidentally see because somebody's shirt lifted wrong or whatever?
Well, people knew what they were in for after they watched the first run. So I have a photo of Nick and one of my cousins. They put their t-shirts and stuff into their pants and then pulled their pants up to their chest just to be sure that their own shirts and pants weren't going to be pulled down or ripped off. My family, though, is so competitive that I gave them each the shirts, and then before I was able to say go, like, they're lining up the T-shirt first so that they had the best starting, but I was like, "No, guys, this is cheating. This is not what's happening." So I ended up having to take the T-shirts from the teams, put them in balls, and then say go and just throw the shirts at them. Because they were cheating. They were trying to, like, place the shirts so that
Your family also would have been yelling at each other. Were their feelings hurt by some loser who couldn't get the t-shirt on right or something?
you know what ended up happening is we did 3 different rounds. So we did 2 sets of 2 teams, and then the 2 teams that won went head to head in a final battle. The people who won were the women, the all women team of the family. Of course they did.
Of course. Of course.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
If you play this game, I need video proof of how many giggles you had whilst playing it.
I would love it. But you didn't play, you just were the taskmaster.
Yeah, well, someone had to be in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the ways that people can join us in the online Get the Hell Out of Debt course is by applying for a sponsorship. And when you do that on the website, we just ask you to tell us a little bit about your relationship with money. So we got an email just like a few minutes ago from someone that was applying for a sponsorship, and I wanted to read you what Aeriss had to say. She says, I hate money. It causes so much stress and just builds up in my body. It hurts my neck, my back, my shoulders, and even recently my jaw, which is causing debilitating headaches. She says, "How can I take off work because my headaches are so bad when the headaches are caused from not enough money and working is how I make money?"
Oh, Eris. Okay. First of all, let's all take a deep breath with her and for her. Deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. You don't hate money. I promise you don't hate money. You're frustrated and you're mad that you're in this position and you're, frustrated by a lot of things, and probably more than anything, you're mad at yourself. But you don't hate money. Because if you do hate money, you're going to continue to be in this position. That's like saying, I hate men. They just cause so much stress, and the stress just builds up in my body. And being with my husband hurts my neck, my back, my shoulders, and even recently my jaw, which causes debilitating headaches. How can I stay married to him when the headaches are so bad? And well, of course, you shouldn't be in a relationship with this person, right? We would be like, what are you doing? The relationship's never going to work.
Mhm.
You can't be in a relationship with money and hate it. Money doesn't respond to that. And basically, money doesn't have any emotions or anything, so I can't say like money loves you, love it back. It's not quite like that either, because money is neutral. But if you are feeling this hate and you're blaming money for all of these feelings, that cycle is going to continue to perpetuate, because the pain is causing money struggles, and the money struggles are causing pain, and the pain is causing money struggles, and the money struggles are causing pain. So we have to change the way you're looking at this. This is a classic money block. The money block forms when something happened to you. And in this case, it could be the stress block, but something happened to you where you didn't know something, or you made a bad decision, or something happened with money that caused stress in your life. You didn't know how to handle it, so you made money the villain. And then every time you encountered money, your body reacted with stress, because that's the pattern you established. So all we have to do is we have to change the way we view money. And I know that sounds like, oh, easy for you to say, but you're talking to somebody who had a lot of stress from money for a lot of years. So we're going to do a couple of things here in order to change your relationship with money. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the language that you're using. It's going to be really important for you to catch yourself anytime you're using language like, I hate money, money causes stress that builds up in my body. Anytime you're using language like that, you're giving the money power in a way that puts you in a victim state. And we don't want you to be a victim to money. We want you to be somebody who is in control of finances and somebody who's building abundance. When we're in this state that you're in right now, where you're like, I hate money, it causes stress, what you're essentially doing is you're waiting for your money problems to be fixed so the stress can go away. But unfortunately, that's the opposite of how things happen. You have to change what's going on inside of you first in order to heal the relationship with money. And so many of us wait for something external to change the internal chaos. We do it with relationships. We think, oh gosh, if only I had a great partner,
Mhm.
this would change. Or, if we're struggling with organization in our homes, we're like, if only someone would come in this house and organize it for me. I promise you, 3 weeks from now, it's going to look exactly like it does right now. If only someone would pay off my credit cards, you're going to rack them back up. What we have to do is the internal work first. This is so critical. So all of this I say because I understand that what you're experiencing is very real. Our bodies obviously hold a lot of emotion, and the dis-ease of that, the discomfort of that, can sometimes cause other health challenges along the way. And in your case, it's debilitating headaches. So what I need you to start to do is change the language that you're using. Do you want more? I know you do. Why wouldn't you want more? More
Or
of this,
what? What do I
more,
want more of?
more of this. Come
Oh.
hang out in the online course, Forget the Hell Out of Debt. The link is in the description. You just got to click it, sign up, and we'll see you in there. So what I need you to start to do is change the language that you're using, and then also change the meaning that you're giving it. So it's no big deal that your jaw hurts. Your jaw just hurts. We don't have to worry about why your jaw, your medical doctor cares why it hurts, right? But when we're talking about healing your relationship with money, it doesn't matter why your jaw hurts. And so what are some things that you can do or experience that make it not hurt? Maybe there's a medication that you need to take. Maybe you find stepping away from a screen and going for a walk really helps. Like, what are the things that you can do that take you out of the state of pain. So for me, way back when I was in my stress state and everything in my body was hurting and everything was inflamed, and in order to cope with that, I would drink, which caused more inflammation, which is so funny to me now as somebody who doesn't drink. I look back and go, that was the dumbest coping mechanism. Why, but you get into these patterns or these habits to cope with things, and you're taking temporary measures to deal with something that really needs a long-term solution. So for me, what I learned accidentally was that surfing
Mm.
caused me to lose all pain in my body because I was so fully alive and so fully present with what was happening on the water. I didn't have my phone with me. I wasn't thinking about money. I was just focused on standing up. It's all I had to think about. So for you, it might be playing the piano. For you, it might be going for a hike in the mountains. For you, it might be skydiving. I know people that skydive because when they skydive, all they can think about is skydiving. They're not thinking about the money, and they actually have no pain in their body when they're not thinking about it. So you just have to figure out for you, what is the passion project, or when in your life have you not experienced pain and what were you doing, and go back to that emotional state and try and get into that state as often as possible. And then we're going to use supportive language around money that's going to change your relationship to money. So imagine if you're in a relationship with a partner. I'm going to assume heterosexual relationship because that's 80% of the people that are in our Get the Hell Out of Debt program are in heterosexual relationships. So we'll assume that you're in a heterosexual relationship just for statistics' sake. And if you're with your partner and you're having problems with your partner and you start saying, I hate George, I hate George, he's the worst husband, is the relationship going to improve or not improve? It doesn't matter what George does. George can bring you flowers. George can do all kinds of other things for you. And if you're still using language that's I hate George, no matter what George does, your relationship is going to be stressful. So what I would say to you is you have to focus on what's going well. When you get paid, you have to say something to yourself like, I am so grateful for this money that I've got. It's at least covering 60% of my expenses right now. Thank goodness for that. How lucky am I? And on top of that, let's look around at all of the other things that are going really well. I know what it's like because when you're in a stress state, I'm sure right now you've got a middle finger pointed at your speakers right now. You, Erin Kelly, and your stupid gratitude, right? Because that's how you feel when you're in this state. But I'm telling you, it's one of the only things that works. And it's why through the ages, it doesn't matter if you're into Eastern religions, Western religions, no religions, good vibes, nature, it doesn't matter what you're into. Everyone will tell you that abundance starts with gratitude. And if right now all you can be grateful for is at least my headache's not a migraine at the moment, let's be grateful for that. You have to start where you are, and we're going to start to switch this. I see other people like this, these positive, good vibes only people, these positive people. It doesn't work that way either. You can't just good vibes your way through a life and go like, no bad vibes. If something's painful, we got to deal with it. We can't ignore it or wish it away. But we start with the truth always. What actually is going well? Most of us don't have to look very far in order to find something that is a blessing of some kind and focus on that. And then we build from there. We start to look for other blessings, and those will start to expand. And I understand what you're saying here. I can't take time off work because my headaches are so bad, but I also need to make money to get out of the situation. There's a number of things we got to look at. What is the environment that you're working in? Maybe you've got fluorescent lights overhead that are contributing. Maybe the work environment is stressful. Maybe you're not being paid enough. Is there a way that you could do what you're good at a different company or a different job that's going to pay you more, fulfill you more in a new way? Now, sometimes it's worth it to stay in certain jobs, not because of the money. So maybe this work environment that you have gives you unlimited flexibility with time off or choosing your hours, or maybe there's another perk there. But even with that, there could be another side income that you could earn, or there could be something else that you could do. Or maybe it means for a short amount of time, in order to get where you want to go, you go work in an environment that sucks, that's 9 to 5, and you power through. Only you can make that decision. But you've got to make some kind of change here because you're stuck in what's called a crazy eight loop. It's that age-old thing of, well, this is the problem, but it's the problem because of this. This is the problem, but it's the problem because of this. And you can stay stuck in that crazy cycle for a long period of time until you decide to change one thing. But you have to make a change. And sometimes any change can make a difference. Sometimes it means trying not to work on Fridays, or sometimes it means going to work at the coffee shop across the street instead of the one you're at, but you're still working in the coffee industry. I don't know. Making some kind of change can sometimes release the pattern or allow you to see things in a new perspective. But you've got to get some perspective because right now you're stuck. You're in the blinders. And I've been there. I'm saying this from experience. So I've been there. I remember these days and how awful they feel. But the problem is now, and this is the part you're not going to want to hear, you're comfortable there, Aeriss. I know you're complaining about it, but you're comfortable here because you haven't done anything about it yet. And so you've got to, at some point, go, I've got to change something. So, of course, now you apply for sponsorship. We're going to grant your sponsorship into the Get the Hell Out of Debt program. And like Carrie said, there are 3 ways to join the Get the Hell Out of Debt program. You go to getthehelloutofdebt.com and you scroll down 3 ways to join. You can pay the $99. It's one-time fee, gives you lifetime access. Everybody tells me I'm crazy for only charging $99. I've heard that from everybody my whole life. Why are you only charging $99? You help people pay off thousands of dollars of debt for 99 bucks and help them build wealth. You've got millionaires in this course that paid you $99 a few years ago. And I'm like, yes, that's it. $99. Big whoop. But $99 is out of reach sometimes when you're in pain. When I was in $2.1 million in debt and you've said to me, can you spot me $100? I'd be like, I cannot. You want me to go in negative more money for this? Forget this, right? So you can pay what you can. You can fork $20 over, or you can do what Aeriss did and apply for sponsorship. And it means that somebody in the program, sometimes it's even me, forks over the $99 for you so you can get in the program. And in this case, Aeriss, that's what I did for you. But sometimes there's graduates of the program that come back and sponsor other people in. And all of this is a start and a change. So you've already shifted. You're already in a transformation, Aeriss. You just can't see it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You've shifted by asking for help. And so we're here for you. We're going to help you. But we can't help you long term unless you help yourself. So that's going to start with changing the language that you're using, changing the meaning that you're giving something. And the next thing that I'm going to need you to change is change your body. And when you join the Get the Hell Out of Debt program, we have these 10 success principles that we start off with. And everybody's like, none of these are related to money, Erin. I know. Some people don't even get past them because they're like, well, I'm not doing some of these. Okay, well, then you're not going to make it. But on that list, one of the things is you got to move your body for 30 minutes a day. The other one is you got to stay hydrated. Another one is you got to take care of your sleep first. Before you schedule anything else in your day, you have to have good sleep hygiene and a regular bedtime. Because I'm telling you, nothing will kill your financial goals faster than stress, which is what you're in. Now, I'm not saying going for a walk 30 minutes a day is going to change your headaches. Maybe you already work out a ton. I don't know. But I would love to see you doing something where you're off your devices. You're not thinking about money. Maybe you're listening to a really great fiction audiobook that you get from the library on your device. The reason we tell you 30 minutes of blood pumping activity is because at least for those 30 minutes, it's less likely you're thinking about money and you can give your nervous system a chance to reset. But all of those things are going to be health supporting activities anyway. And I don't want you to do the same thing every day. So if there's always a route that you go on every day when you're walking, because maybe it's the safest route for you to do your 30 minutes of activity, I want you to listen to a different audiobook all the time. Or if you prefer to listen to the same thing, or you're listening to the Get the Hell Out of Debt podcast, or you're doing something like that when you're on your walk, take a different route every day. Change it up. Do something that's going to require your brain to focus on something else other than what you're always focused on.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, Aeriss, it can be really helpful to go on a rant, which is, we do this at Transformation Weekend. If you've done any other programs, that I work adjacent to, you will have done a rant at some point before. I'm telling you, sometimes it can be so helpful to release stress when you go for a walk and you say a lot of swear words. You got your headphones in and you're just, I'm tired of having headaches. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of, you just stomp and fuss and complain and you get it out. And then the rest of the day, you don't allow yourself anything except for positivity around money. We do an exercise sometimes. I'll take people out to a riverbank where there's lots of big rocks, like river rocks, river stones. And you pick up a rock and you throw it into the river as you're saying something. So basically what you're doing is I'm exhausting you like I would do with little toddlers if I was trying to get them to nap. But you pick up a rock and you're like, this rock is for all the times I couldn't make my credit card payments on time. Boom. This rock is for when my electricity got shut off. Boom. And you start to like pick up a rock and you throw it, and you pick up a rock and you throw it. And you do this until you're wiped out. Because then there's a moment always when we're physically and emotionally exhausted after a good cry or a good workout where you can fill up again. But now you're going to fill up with choice. You're going to fill up with, okay, money, I know we haven't had a good relationship in the past, but I'm ready to heal. Let's focus on abundance today. What are we grateful for? What opportunities are coming my way that I might be missing? Who can I reach out to that can help me today? What recipe can I make out of the things that are in my pantry right now? What can I do for myself when I have a headache? Maybe I'm going to build a little headache sanctuary for myself in the house, in the cold basement or the cold room. On the cement floor, I'm going to put a pillow and a little blanket in the pitch black. Maybe I'm going to create some sort of ritual for myself so I can really care for myself when I'm hurting. And then over time, I'm going to strengthen my body and I'm going to strengthen my mind, and I'm going to find ways to get rid of this stress so it doesn't hurt my neck anymore, and it doesn't hurt my back anymore, and it doesn't hurt my shoulders anymore, and it doesn't hurt my jaw, because I'm releasing all of the tension that I'm carrying because I'm learning to love myself, respect myself, and in turn, love and respect my relationship with money. So we have to do all those things in tandem, Aeriss. But in the meantime, the solution isn't staying in this place of, how can I take time off work because my headaches are so bad, when the headaches are caused from not making enough money. The solution is caused from figuring out what it is inside of you that you have to tap into, what resourcefulness you have to tap into. Maybe it's asking somebody for a connection for a better job. Maybe it's restructuring some of your debt. Maybe it's selling some stuff so you can pay some things off. Maybe it's having a bigger emergency fund so you just feel better. I've seen it happen in people before when their quick and dirty wasn't big enough, but as soon as they doubled their quick and dirty, they walked differently because they knew that no matter what, they would be okay. So maybe it's as simple as that. But I promise you, you don't hate money. You're mad at yourself, or you're mad at something that's happened in the past, and it's caused you to feel stress and blame money for this. But that's not really what's true. What's true is at some point you missed an opportunity to take care of yourself because you didn't know. It's okay. You didn't know. You missed an opportunity to take care of yourself and get yourself on a better trajectory. But the beautiful thing is now you've already started that transition, so you're going to get there. You just have to stay consistent. In the meantime, get your sleep, drink your water, go for a walk, spend 10 minutes a day looking at your money, not avoiding it, looking for what's good in the world, spending time with people who are going to support you and encourage you in a positive way. And anytime you hear anybody in your life say, I hate money too, or money is stressful, you run. Don't go near those people because they're going to reinforce this crappy place where you are, and they're going to keep you stuck. But only you can free yourself, Aeriss. And I 100% believe that you've already started.
I am bookmarking this episode. I am keeping this one at the top of my list of things to listen to when I'm having a pity party or when I'm having stress, because it's coming up on a stressful time of year. We're stressed. I feel like my shoulders, even just taking that breath at the beginning, caused me to chill out a bit. I was so soothed by you just now, Erin. I was so soothed.
We do have money meditations. I don't know. We could release them. Why don't we post them inside the Get the Hell Out of Debt group?
Love it.
We have those 10 money meditations that I've done before, where I just like talk you through some of the money blocks. They're 10 minutes long so that you can just, no matter what you're doing in your day, if you're waking up and you haven't got out of bed yet, you can listen to one and start your day off with one of those. But it's really important that you understand this is something that's going on inside of you, and it is something that you have control of for the most part. I do want you to seek medical attention, obviously, for those headaches. I'm not trying to get in the way of your doctor, but you can work with your doctor and with your medical practitioners by taking care of everything that's going on with your mindset, and the combination of you taking care of your physical health and your mental health and your emotional health, along with your spiritual health, which you can do with those meditations, is going to be so critical for helping you really start to learn to love and respect money in a really positive way.
My place where I go if I need to forget about all the things and just focus on the present is absolutely the lake. I can put myself there even just thinking about it. I don't even have to physically be there. I know what it smells like. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like to go underwater. And I had forgotten that that's what I should do. So thank you. That was a good reminder. I'm going to go there as soon as we stop recording.
There's also no cell service at the lake, so there's that.
There's also that. Shocker that that has something to do with it.
Yeah, Eris, put your phone on airplane mode 30 minutes a day and just take care of yourself. You'll feel so much better in the long run.